And we are live, which is awesome. We'll go ahead and record. Perfect. Welcome everyone on YouTube, and we'll be posting this on the membership site too. So welcome members. I am so excited. I don't do interviews often, but when I do, I have the most interesting people on. And I originally learned about the Spooky 2 machine and Rife technology probably 10 years ago. So this is really full circle for me. This is the founder. He is a researcher and inventor of Spooky 2, and his name is John White. So thank you so much, John, for coming on. And we're actually going to dive right into a presentation on kind of the background and more information for you. And then we're going to go into an interview afterwards.
Great. Okay. Well, hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for inviting me onto your show. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely.
I've got a presentation which can possibly get the ball rolling. Shall I share that with you?
Yeah, let's get going for sure.
Okay, so now I've got to slideshow play. Slideshow play from start. They've moved it. Okay, there we go. Now I am from Spooky 2. I actually started Spooky 2. We focus on Royal Rife and Royal Rife's machines and bringing them up to the modern era of components and everything. We're keeping his legacy alive, if you like. Now, I'd like to step through and just start from the beginning. Now, Royal Rife was a man that's way beyond his time, but a bit like Nikola Tesla, really. He did many inventions. He invented the world's fastest speedboat engine, for example. And he was a very accomplished marksman, musician. He had lots of interests, but one thing that he really wanted to focus on was health. He wanted to know whether he could destroy microorganisms through the use of smart machines. Now, he realized that to know whether he could do it or not, he needed a very powerful microscope. This was in the early 1900s. So he didn't hesitate. He worked for Carl Zeiss for a while, who is a large microscope and lens manufacturer. And it was like an apprenticeship there. He learned what he needed to know, plus a lot more, and then set to making his own microscopes. Now, he invented a microscope called a universal microscope, which at the time was the most powerful microscope in the world. And now it is the most powerful microscope in the world for viewing live organisms. Electron microscopes, which are more powerful, they kill the subject and give it a coating of gold, and then they get the very high resolution images. But you can't see the effects of applying something with its frequencies or anything to a living organism using an electron microscope. And his one just uses regular light. And he could see what happened to the bugs, if you like, while he's sending frequencies to the microorganisms, because that was his plan. Now, Royal Rife was born 1888. He's not a medical doctor, but he became self-trained in the use of laboratory equipment and the animals and the procedures. He was quite possibly more qualified than a doctor. He was a natural genius. And by 1920, his microscope that he had invented from scratch without any copying of any other plans could see viruses directly. And at that time, it was just impossible with any other microscope. And In 1944, the Smithsonian Institute devoted more than 12 pages to this microscope that he invented. He invented several microscopes, but perhaps the pinnacle one was the universal. Now, he said in his later years, having spent every dime I earned in my research for the benefit of mankind, I've ended up a pauper. But I achieved the impossible and would do it again. This is his character. He was very fixated on solutions. His mindset wasn't with money and profits and the rest. He wanted answers to disease. And he devoted his whole life to this. And this is something that us as a company do as well. That is our focus, not on the other things that businesses place as number one, but more on that a little bit later. I think he died about 73, so it wasn't like a long, long time ago. Now, in 1934, the world was a very different place. It was a time when doctors, when you were surprised with the treatment, they'd want to learn more. The doctors had heard of Dr. Royal Raymond Rife, and they decided to set up a clinic using their standards. They got 16 people in this trial. They were all terminally ill. They were all going to die. And they basically gave these people to Royal Rife and asked him to do his best. After 90 days, they had someone to count the number of people that had died during the course of the treatment. But surprisingly, after just 3 months, almost all the people had been cured with no cancer detected in their body. For the 2 remaining people that weren't responding to treatments, Royal Rife adjusted his machine, and they too became cured of cancer. Now, again, this is in 1934, at a time when doctors were perhaps more inquisitive than they are now and willing to put their necks on the line and find out the truth. Sorry about my throat. I haven't been awake for too long. Okay, so how does it work? Well, it's very, very simple. It's just vibrations. As the Beach Boys say, good vibrations. Now, Nikola Tesla, another genius that was unappreciated by most people at his time, he said that if you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything in the universe has a vibrating frequency. This natural frequency is called resonance. Now, Nikola Tesla was just a little bit before Royal Rife in his time. I don't think they ever met. But Nikola Tesla understood that when he says everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, he understood that there's no real such thing as hard matter. Everything truly is energy and frequency. Einstein, of course, found the correlation between energy and matter. So energy is matter. Matter is energy. Everything is energy and vibration. And because it is, you can do things with it. You can do magic. If something vibrates at a certain frequency, you can apply that frequency back to it, and it will start shaking. If you continue applying that frequency, it will shake harder and harder. And if it's something nasty that you don't want, like a bug, it'll break. It'll rupture its cell membrane or damage some internal part, and then no longer be viable, which means it will no longer divide, no longer make your life a misery. Now, Albert Einstein had a few difficulties understanding how you can apply something to a molecule in one location, and the twin of its molecule also has the same response. It's as if the molecules were right next to each other, but they could be hundreds and thousands of miles apart. And to his deathbed, he couldn't come up with an answer, but he came up with a really good phrase. He called it spooky action at a distance. And this is how our company derived its name. We stole it from Einstein. It's quantum entanglement, and it's become a real catchphrase. Even it was after we called our name Spooky. We called ourselves Spooky because our very first accessory, which you can see just in the corner here, is a Spooky remote. This device allows you to send healing frequencies at any distance. There is no such thing as distance. Strange as it seems, there is no such thing as distance. And science is coming up with strange algorithms to try and work out how molecules can be connected yet be so far apart. But our system sort of took advantage of the fact that quantum entanglement ensures that you can treat a small part of your DNA and you can be holidaying in the Bahamas or the Nevada desert or wherever and still get the benefit of the treatments. You don't have to be sitting down on a chair, holding onto your hand cylinders, getting frequencies being sent to your body. That's the old-fashioned way. Now, more than Spooky 2, there was a bit of a large step in technology. We called ourselves Spooky, but we found we invented a brand new generator that created these frequencies, and it wasn't just a small change; it was a huge change. So we're considering everything in Spooky 2, like Spooky squared. It's like E equals MC squared. That's what that was a gift of an idea that was given to us, so we ran with it. So we're now Spooky 2. Okay. Our company's mission, same as Royal Rife. We will eliminate all illness and needless suffering. That is our mission. Our vision is to empower people to take control of their own health and live long, healthy, fulfilling lives with happiness and joy. It's all very well to live to 100, but if you're bedridden for 20 of those years, it's not real life. It's not life as it should be. So we endeavor to also not only extend people's lives, but also their quality of lives so that they can wake up with a smile in their lives, in their faces, and play with their grandchildren and enjoy life. And our value. Now we value love, compassion, and honesty over profit. And as a matter of fact, we really do. I'm sick of hearing other companies saying, you know, we put customers first. And then the next page in their manifesto, big glossy manifesto, they'll have a chart showing the returns to shareholders and dividends. And what did they just say on the previous page? No, we do value love, compassion, and honesty over profit. When we have any company meeting, it can be for personal growth of our staff, because we believe that by growing ourselves, we can also improve the lives of our customers by having greater knowledge. Or we discuss how we can make our customers' lives better in some way possible. But we truly do value love, compassion, and honesty over profit. And goodness knows there's no shortage of dishonest companies. Companies that sell health-giving devices. The devices may work, but you've got to dig deep into your pocket to get them. That's not honest. Together for good. Now, this is a video. I'll see if I can play this back and you can hear it okay. Oops. Oh, nothing's happening. Why?
It says media not found, so maybe something's not linked on the back end.
Well, it's not actually playing.
Yeah, it says that the media isn't found, right? Do you see in the bar at the bottom, media not found?
No. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Technology.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
A different one. Oops, yeah, I'll turn my BP off. Oops. Well, internet speed. Okay, what that was, every month or so, especially in the summer, we release fish, shellfish, and other animals into the river. These are all products which were in the markets for people to take home, boil, and consume. We believe that every life is precious. Every animal has a soul, any sentient being. And so we do our part. Who you're seeing is the staff and the staff's family, and a few passers by that decide to get their feet dirty and join in. We want to really make a big change, but the change starts with us. You've got to change yourself before you really make an effect on others. So, we do this. We have very deep beliefs, and we want to share the joy of life and make other people realize that we're not alone in this world. And the world is a living organism. We're all in it together. By benefiting other people, you're also benefiting yourself and the world as a whole. It's very, very important. So I do this. Now, the previous I'll try and see what I can find after this presentation. I'll see if I can find the video and play it, because it's really lovely. It talks about our charity work in Nepal and other places, and where our profits go. Yeah. I was thinking the other day what my personal assets are. Now, I feel extremely rich. I am extremely rich. And I realize that what I truly own is 3 bicycles. 3 bicycles. I love cycling. That is what is mine. Like the house we live in isn't ours, and nothing's ours. But I'm never in need of money, because I don't really have to replace anything, because clothing, okay. 3 bicycles, but they're nice bicycles. They're really good bicycles. And so that's my joy, getting out there and riding. But what we do is we throw our money where it's really needed: people, animals, environment. Yeah, okay. And this is talking about what the first presentation was going to show. And it's lovely too. I will try and find it, because it was really nice to see. Now, we focus on bringing healthy life to people, but we're also passionate about social welfare programs. There's a lot of other wonderful charities in the world. Our charity is registered, and we do things on our own, but we also support other charities. Now, the thing is, Elizabeth, Anyone who's bought anything from a company has been blessed. They themselves, not us, but using their name, they have contributed to charities. Okay, through us, but we donate it on behalf of them, and we give their customer's name. So everyone will, we like to think, well, when people buy something from us, even if they don't use the product, they'll suddenly find that, gosh, they're feeling a little bit lucky. This strange things happen that don't normally happen in their life, and they think, gosh, that's a stroke of luck. Well, this a lot of strokes of luck happen when you do good things and pass love forwards. We do this. Our foundation is the Spooky 2 Global Aid Foundation. And as I say, we focus on people, animals, and the environment. In Pakistan, we provide humanitarian aid, food products, and necessary living essentials. It's really shocking. It's so easy to forget what it's like in other parts of the world. If you've got it good, not a worry in the world, or just mortgage to pay or whatever, consider people that wake up and don't know how they're going to get through the day. And they've got children. How are they going to feed their children? Well, we help. We do our part. In Nepal, that gets really cold in the winter. And old people in particular feel the cold. They don't have the luxuries of air conditioning or anything. It's very, very basic living. I mean, it's a beautiful area. When you're in Nepal, the air is so clear and the people so lovely too. They're very hard people, very, very, very strong. Because Nepal's such a high place, the ultraviolet rays from the sun is quite harsh, so their skin gets quite thick and dark and cracked. In the winter, it gets frightfully cold. So we provided warmth kits. We thought we'll just put everything together into a bag because there's so many people that that need this. Blankets, jackets, socks, things to let them feel warm through the winter. What we found is that the old people, if they do have something warm, they give it to their children or their grandchildren. That's who they are. So we give straight back to them. In Guatemala, we help out with, it starts from the beginning. If you can educate and lift the children, you're lifting the community as a whole. So we have supported orphanages, both here and overseas, as well as hospitals. We helped a hospital being built as well, which is quite cool. But a community of children in Guatemala, we helped that particular orphanage with clothing and education materials. A protection program for girls in Nepal, teaching them how, the changes with puberty and how to look after yourself and take responsibility of yourself. This is not generally part of their regular curriculum, and indeed many of these children don't go to school. So back to the boring stuff. Components of Spooky 2. Well, Spooky 2 is a system comprised of many different types of cool devices, each of which are designed very carefully and lovingly to restore your health. The basic core components of Spooky 2 is the software and the generator. The software can allow you to control the generator. By generator, I mean the little box which sends frequencies out. There's a Spooky amplifier, which is a little boost which you can attach to the generator. And there's different ways you can apply the frequencies. There's contact mode, remote mode, which is Spooky action at a distance, plasma, pulsed EMF, cold laser. And you can also find out what frequencies you should be sending to your body through the use of biofeedback. There's 3 ways we can do biofeedback. There's Generator X Pro, Spooky Pulse, and our Scalar Digitizer. Now, this is too fast for people to really gain much benefit from, but really the take from this page is that we've been around for a while and focused on the same thing for an equally long time. So we have got quite a few devices to solve big problems. For some problems, some solutions are better than others. And so this is why we've come up with different kinds of machines and equipment. Okay, now the brain of Spooky. Now this is the software. The software is where you choose the condition that you want to treat for. It could be anything from arthritis to tummy pain to insomnia to tinnitus to any of the very serious diseases. If you can think of any disease, it'll be somewhere in Spooky 2's database. We've got the largest treatment database in the world. It's grown through the years. We have created a database specifically for targeting the DNA of diseases, and in doing so can now hit any pathogen, albeit a fungus, bacteria, or a virus, or even a parasite, by using the DNA structure of that nasty disease giving organism. And that'll be in Spooky already. You just have to select it and then run it, and the frequency will be sent directly from the generator to you. The heart of Spooky is the generator itself. There's our first generator there, the generator that's in blue. This is our newer generator, the Generator X Pro. It's got built-in biofeedback, so you don't need to have a pulse unit. It's very fast, it's extremely accurate. That's the one that many people get now. If you don't have much money, then get the blue one. It's still very, very capable, very, very accurate in itself. Okay. Transmission mode, well, this is showing our remote treatment where you can put your DNA inside the Spooky 2 remote, attach it to the boost and then the generator, and the generator will send healing frequencies to the DNA that's in the remote. You will feel this even though you may be on the other side of the planet or even off the planet. You can be anywhere. Through quantum entanglement, what happens to the DNA here also happens to the DNA in your body. Lots of wires, isn't it? Looks complicated. All it is showing how you can connect your body directly to the generator. You can use TENS pads. You can use contact probes. You can use hand cylinders. And you can use silver cloth sleeves, either your wrists or your ankles. Now, one device we make is the Spooky 2 Scalar. This is a really cool device for several reasons. I'll tell you the biggest reason why it's cool. It's because you turn it on, just give it a quick tune, and it's done. You don't have to do anything else. It's not complicated. It doesn't need a computer to run, although you can connect a computer if you want. You just turn it on, tune it until the light goes bright, and then it's away. It's funny how animals haven't lost the intuitive connection to their own state of health. They gravitate towards being inside the scalar field, which is created between the two boxes when you set them apart. You can see in this picture here, these two people are doing yoga, and they're doing yoga within the scalar field. The scalar field gives the cells more energy in your body. It energizes the mitochondria, the ATP levels increase, and you can do things, I guess, easier. Yoga, meditation. It allows your body to function as it should. Quite often when you're doing yoga, you might be tired. You might be a little bit stiff in places. And you certainly may feel stiff afterwards. But the scalar field just makes the whole environment better for your body. The scalar field passes directly through every single cell in your body. It's an information field, which is kind of cool because of my point number 2. You can put substances on the receiver coil, and the information from that substance will go directly through the scalar field. If you take a medication as an example, you can put the medication on that coil and then receive the benefits of the medication without the side effects through the scalar field. And that's without the side effects because your body only will absorb the frequencies and the information that it needs and will disregard the rest. I guess it's like when you're communicating, you're talking with a friend in the subway, and you're surrounded with noise and everything, but you're focused on your friend and you can hear your friend perfectly well and understand them. It's the same thing with this. Your body is receptive to frequencies and information. It takes what it needs, and everything it doesn't need just passes straight through. It's another reason why you can't overdose if you do put something on the coil by staying in there too long. Once your body has taken what it needs, then it will pass straight through. Our very first scalar unit was a prototype. We were going to go to the big US of A for a conference tour. First time we'd ever set foot in America. We didn't go to Nevada, but we would have liked to have done so. We went to New York and other places there. But we had given this prototype scalar unit to a friend of ours who had a cancerous tumor in her breast. And maybe a month before we went to America, we got a text from her just before the first conference. Tumor. It went from maybe 2 centimeters across to the size of a dot, a full stop on a page. Almost gone. Doctor's amazed. Thank you. And she attached in the text in the phone message the clinical results showing, black and white. This is how much it's shrunken. And of course the doctors couldn't understand and just basically said, "Well, that's nice," and didn't want to dig much further into it. But it was because of the scalar unit that she was using. And we asked her, how is she using it? Did she have a generator connected up to it? Did she have a substance on the receiver coil? No, she just sat in the scalar field. That's all she did. It is a naturally healing field. There have been studies done with other groups where they have put cancer patients within the lids. They have taken some of their cancer cells through a biopsy, added that into a beaker with the anti-cancer agents, placed that on the receiver coil. The information of the cancer cells dying in the beaker gets sent through the scalar field to the person. And the cancer cells only in these people's bodies started to die in formation. And it's a very powerful way of using the scalar field as well. It doesn't have to be cancer, it can be other things as well. You can, but more than just drugs, you can do essential oils, which lots of people do, vitamins, if you're low in vitamins or you want to take a multivitamin in a more natural way, just place a pill on the receiver coil. Now, one way that businesses run nowadays is profit. If they don't make a profit, they try and find something else. It's why some very good products are discontinued, because their profits margins aren't high enough. Well, you can buy a very expensive tablet, just buy one and use it thousands of times. They say the drug companies will hate you, but this is what you can do. Place an expensive medication on the receiver coil and just sit in the scalar field. Let the magic happen. Now, this is a big boy. This is our plasma tube. This is a machine that we built, which is modeled around the original Royal Raymond Rife frequency treatment device. Other suppliers have made similar units, but their units differ from the original. We have kept as close to the original ideas of Royal Rife as possible. And this is our amazing little baby. Like all of our products, it's affordable. We don't want to invent things and then just become rich and not fulfill our primary goal, which is healing people. You can't heal people if they can't afford your products, can you? So we make things as affordable as possible. And you've got a choice of tubes, straight tube for larger treatment areas, or for more focused treatments, which is my personal favorite, this beautiful Phenatron tube. It's just a fancy name given to the round tube. We also do a line of cold laser products. Cold laser is also inherently healing. When people think about laser, they normally think about destruction, death rays, and cauterization and surgery, where the lasers burning and sealing blood vessels. But that's in the high power lasers. With low power in the milliwatt region, you get into the cold lasers. They're cold because they don't produce heat. They're not enough power. So you can place the ones on the left in your nasal cavity or your oral cavity and directly irradiate your sinuses or your blood vessels, or as close to your brain as you can get through your eardrum. The photons of light, because it's a coherent light, it's got great biological function. If you apply cold laser to light, even without any frequencies or anything fancy, sorry, did I say the wrong thing? If you apply cold laser to blood, is what I meant to say, it will make your blood cells more individual again, not clumped together. It'll remove the spikes on the blood cells so they become rounded and plump, and make the blood more effective in delivering oxygen, as well as removing the waste products like the CO2 and the other waste products that cells produce, and help your body maintain a good healthful state. Now, the unit which is ideal for electrifying your blood is the cold laser wrist, which is like an oversized watch. You wear it on the inside of your wrist, so the cold lasers are shining in your artery that flows through your wrist. And over a period of time, all the blood passes underneath that point. And it's got tremendous health-giving properties. If your blood is healthy, then it gives your body a better fighting chance in other areas. And even if you are well, it's a good thing to use at least once a day to maintain your health. Many people don't realize that if you do get something like cancer, the cancer may have been forming for quite a number of years before it gets to the state where it's detected. And the environment for the cancer to grow would also have been there. So if you can make your body hostile to pathogens, hostile to cancer and other things, then it won't grow. It'll keep in submission. We also do pulsed EMF, which is pulsed EMF stands for pulsed electromagnetic fields. It's a very gentle device. It sends the magnetic field in pulses or as a frequency sound to joints or to your blood, to entrain your cells and to again introduce energy into your cells for healing. Pulsed EMF is quite often used for joint pain. Because it's a low power unit, you can also have it under your pillow and use it to help you sleeping. It's a very good way of doing that. And in this age of information overdose, sleep deprivation is a really big thing. Okay, now biofeedback is a way of determining the exact frequencies that your body needs. And you can find these frequencies by any of these 4 methods. Now, this GX Pro has got biofeedback built into it. So you can perform a high-speed biofeedback and find the frequencies that your body needs. You can do it slower by listening to your pulse. When your body is stressed, your pulse changes. There's other things that make your pulse change, like even a gentle kiss will make your pulse rate change. So it's best to do a biofeedback when you're not about to be kissed and when there's no other distractions. You just sit back and relax, let your pulse settle down, and then your Spooky applies a frequency sweep. Any change in your heart rate is detected by the Spooky pulse and recorded for later use. This unit here is our scalar digitizer. When you're sitting in your scalar field, the scalar field, some of it is being used by your body. Most of it passes through. This device detects the strength of the scalar field. When your body takes more of the scalar field, this device can see that, and there's a spike. And then Spooky, the software, will record that spike and use it later on. And perhaps my favorite device, or second favorite from the Generator X Pro, is this one. This one's a sample digitizer. I'll tell you why it's my favorite. It's because it's so pure. Its connection goes straight onto a generator. And so there's very little electrical noise which is introduced into the system. You place a sample inside 2 plates and let it close together. The plates sandwiched together. It can be saliva or mucus that's inside the plates. So you've got a high ratio of bugs to whatever else is in there. And Spooky will then apply a frequency sweep to the nasties that are between that slide. And that normally gives a very good response to the exact frequencies that those bugs don't really want to have sent through them. It's our sample digitizer. It's very, very good, that unit. It's also good because you don't have to sit still. You can start it and then walk away and then come back in half an hour and the answers are there. Okay, now this is the purpose of this page is to really explain how really there's no one way of setting up a Spooky 2 rig. Spooky 2 has been designed so you can connect 126 different generators together. If you buy one generator and you think, gosh, this is really good, I should have bought 2. Well, it doesn't matter. Buy another one, plug it in. the spooky will recognize it, and then you've got 2 generators. You just build and build, a bit like Lego. And you know, with the Lego blocks, you can add blocks, and then you can end up with something which looks kind of ugly. Well, this is what you're seeing here: 3 different types of ugly. But this is what works for these people. Like in the bottom, this person has got a bookshelf, and they've just got the generators there. Each generator is treating either themselves or a friend of theirs or a family member for different items. There's almost no limit to the number of people that you can treat and for what diseases you can treat each one of them. So they've got this person's got it on the bookshelf. This person, he's obviously a highly technical person, so he's got all whiz-bang electronics here, and he's got the generators all screwed up everywhere. And this person, he's a friend of mine. He's got it in his workshop. And he's also got Jesus there to look over it, which is kind of lovely. Most people would have their Spooky 2 setups much more tidy than this. So I'm showing you 3 ugly examples, but if it works and it fits, then that's the way it is. Everyone's different. These people wanted, this to this person, this is paradise. This is exactly how it should be. Good on them. No 2 people are the same. Here you'll see 2 more organized people. Let's see. No, they're not mine, but my rig was even tidier than this. But here you can, it really shows how you can have lots of generators together, all controlled by one computer, all working in harmony. See, this person, for example, they might be treating something like 15 different friends and family. If a friend comes to them and says, oh, I've got a back pain, no problem, here, just leave me one of your fingernails, I'll sort it out. So he gives the fingernails. This is truly how it works. And he places the fingernails inside a spooky remote and starts a program on that particular generator. And then the friend will catch up with them a week later. Or if they're a really close friend, it'll be 2 weeks later. And they'll say, you know what, I'm actually feeling all right now. I'm feeling much better. And yeah, that's the way it goes. And 2 other examples there. Is that mine? Not sure. Okay. I had a clinic in New Zealand, and the photo on the left looks like it was my clinic. I'm not sure. Okay. Please work. Please work. Oh, good.
Rife machines can deliver these frequencies with extreme precision and return you to good health.
I had stage 4 cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, where only 3% survive. Luckily, I was one of those people. After chemo, my organs, including my brain, were damaged. I needed something to reboot my whole system. I used Spooky 2 Portable Generator X Essential Kit. I've been using Spooky 2 every day since 2019. I'm skeptical about many things. Words mean nothing. Action, evidence, confirms results. To assist my health, I select a program on the machine which always returns me a very good result. It's been 6 years since having stage 4 cancer. Using Spooky 2 and eating well, I get the result that keeps me well and alive.
Spooky 2 is a company with high standards and morals. They do not believe that sickness is an opportunity for profit. To buy a Rife machine, please visit Spooky 2 website, spooky2-more.com.
I hadn't seen that one before. Interesting. But I hear it all the time. I get emails quite pretty much every day. Usually the people say, look, I don't want to have this information posted publicly, but they want to thank me personally because they're still above ground when their doctors said to them, look, get your family affairs in order. because you're going to be leaving us shortly. We stopped that from happening, and people are very, very happy to spend more precious years with their family. Now we've got some written testimonials as well. Where people are talking about using, well, the first one is talking about remote detox. So that person's using Spooky Remote. We've got a detox program which removes all the nasties in your body, everything from heavy metals right up to parasites. And it's just one button click. You choose a preset and go. Okay, 2 buttons click. And another person that's okay, both of them with cold laser. So those are 2 testimonials. Now, we didn't start this movement. It was started with Nikola Tesla, James Maxwell, and Royal Raymond Rife. They're the 3 geniuses that each did an enormous part in creating or discovering the technology that we now use. It's kind of good to be able to now keep their legacy alive and raise humanity through their inventions, knowledge. Yeah. So it wasn't us that invented it. We're just stealing their ideas. So that's the end of the presentation. So that's that, and that's us. This is a long one, isn't it?
Fantastic, John. Thank you so much for that. You really answered so many of my questions, including kind of testimonials or some of your biggest success cases, which I know we just kind of lightly went over the testimonials. And I've heard personally from quite a few people who have used your technology or the technology that you package, that they've had incredible results. So, and that once again is kind of where I first heard about Spooky 2 and the Rife technology, which is pretty cool. So we don't have a whole lot of time left because I do have a pretty hard stop in 10 minutes.
Okay.
But I have a couple of good questions for you. Like I said, you answered most of mine.
Yeah.
So my first question is, has the government ever tried to shut you down? Because we know that cancer treatments, I mean, anything that's against big pharma, I've heard of, free energy technologies, they've all had issues. So have you you're in China now, you're from New Zealand originally, so you haven't necessarily been in the US doing this, which is probably best. But yeah, have you ever come up against any sort of issues with governments and your technology?
Well, from the very beginning, Elizabeth, the reason I moved from New Zealand to China was to escape the claws of bureaucracy. And I had my own clinic there, and I was being forced to close. And I could have abided by what they wanted and thus become a Mr. Nobody. But I didn't want that. I wanted to continue with this goal. So, okay, I came to China. China are more open. They have alternative medicines here anyway. They don't consider it alternative. Yep. That's their mainstream, and Western is kind of alternative. Probably an equal standing, really. But for every allopathic clinic, there'd be a traditional Chinese medicine clinic.
Yeah.
So it's accepted here. And so from within China, no, but we sell globally. And sure, there I don't know whether it will make matters worse by saying which of the agencies are actively trying to close us down. So it's probably best if I don't name them specifically, but there's 2 letter agencies in America and others in Belgium and France. And there's several and it's not just agencies, actually. It's not just government. It goes a little bit deeper than that. Normally we could do things under the radar, but there's other companies that see what we are doing, which is taking their profit.
Yeah.
Everything is profit driven. Instead of meeting us and saying, well, meeting us on a price level and saying, hey, let's compete with us on price, which is fantastic. We'd love that. we want things to be cheap.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they try and get us gone. So they report us to agencies. In fact, the final last straw of why I moved from New Zealand was because I had a private investigator investigate me. My clinic was right underneath the Auckland University Cancer Society research group.
Wow.
And so I was the very last person that should have been right underneath their offices.
Exactly.
And so I was, my clandestine clinic was very low key. But as soon as they found out, then it was all over. So
Wow.
I decided, no, I'm not going to alter my path. I'm just too stubborn in making this change. I'd lost important family members to disease. I don't want other people to have to go through the same thing. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make a change. So yes, we are being attacked as we speak.
Absolutely. And in my perspective, right, like I've encountered a lot of roadblocks as well in my own career, and it's the same thing, right? When you're getting shut down, when you're getting watched, when you're getting followed, when you're getting hacked, you're onto something, right? So I had to ask you that question.
But doesn't it suck how you can't really say, you can't tell other people, I've had to remove this because of that. You
Right.
can't do that.
Right.
And so people say to us, why are suddenly our testimonials, being trimmed or removed? And we can't say.
Yeah.
And we've argued to these authorities, not us saying it, there are other people saying it. They're unedited. But no, because we are hosting this information, we have to control that information. It's really Orwellian type stuff. It's unbelievable that there's no. I can say this absolutely. People, knowledge is not open now. It is fully controlled. Now, I am not a conspiracy person, but I know firsthand, because of the way that we have been handled, knowledge is not free. There's a lot out there which cannot be spoken.
Yep, absolutely. I agree with you. And as a matter of fact, that's why I created this membership platform that is off any and all social media platforms, because if I say the wrong thing, if I get censored, right, I'm then a slave to YouTube. I'm a slave to Instagram. I'm a slave to any other platform. But if I've created my own platform, then I'm free, right, to say whatever I want to say, even though we still get hacked all the time, which is awful. But there's powers that are out there for sure.
Yeah.
So my second really big question for you, and then we'll kind of wrap up, and I know I've got a link out there. It should be in the live comments, and then we'll put it in the top of the description of this video too, if people are interested in actually purchasing one of these products. We also have a 5% off discount right now too, which is pretty awesome if you are interested in it. Personally, I've been using the Spooky 2 machine, and specifically for me with headaches, and I've been doing the detox, the total body detox, and that's been just really amazing energetically. My headaches have gone away. So it's been really, like, personally, it's been really awesome. But I'm pretty healthy as it is. Now, my next question is, when we talk about disease and we talk about frequency and we talk about energy and like that's like totally my wheelhouse, maybe not necessarily the disease part, but it's really expanding, awakening, questioning, opening up the third eye. And I talk all the time about how everything is a vibration. And so if that's the case, and this device works on spooky action at a distance and vibration and quantum mechanics, then have you ever thought about having a program to expand or unlock someone's third eye and help them further connect to the spiritual realms? Because those are just high vibrational frequencies. I mean, I think at a certain point we'll get to, the third dimension frequency is 326 hertz, and the fourth dimension frequency is 450 hertz, and the fifth dimension frequency is 528 hertz, and so on and so forth. I mean, do you think that it's possible? Have you ever thought about creating some sort of a consciousness program, a spiritual program, a part of your device?
Really good question. Spooky 2, it started off with one person, which I'll answer in a roundabout way. I won't be too long. It started with me, but now it's a whole group of people. And because we haven't got egos,
Yeah.
Everybody is important, every idea we consider. And so it's a great pool, huge pool of knowledge. And your thoughts was in one group, and they created a set of programs to do just that, or opening up your third eye, awakening. And so there's already there in the program.
Wow. So you can actually run that now.
You can run that now.
Okay, that's amazing. That's so okay. So you've already thought about it.
See, I wouldn't have thought about it, see, but because because someone a little bit smarter than me in a different area, and so yeah, sure. So we've got we do have a program for that.
Wow.
It's really limitless. If you get a whole group of people, if you've got a team of 1,000 people, the magic that can happen. Well, what about 10,000 or 100,000? Well, Spooky is that size, about 100,000 people, and I get random ideas coming in. Inspirations. When you sleep, your third eye can open, and all the information was pouring in. Wow, and no one else would ever have thought it. And then they contact me, and we discuss it, and then let's make it happen. Let's take the board and run with it, sprint with it.
I love that so much. Oh my goodness. Okay, one last question, and it's not necessarily about the technology, but I'm just curious.
Yes.
What is your opinion of aliens or beings out there in the universe? Have you ever given that a thought?
Hey, of course I have. Of course I have. Well, I mean, okay, you'd be absolutely crazy to think that there are none. Okay, and it is even regular scientists are kind of thinking, God, there must be, doing the numbers and things. Chances are there are a few species. It's beyond question, really. There are races in other parts of the universe, or other universes, or other space times, which could well be way beyond us in technology advancement. I mean, there's even physical proof. They dug up springs and ball bearings in the desert, which have been buried for about 6,000 years. So I'm pretty sure there are a few clever aliens out there. But why would they contact us? Well, I mean, we could be just like animals, low-level animals to them, or maybe they see that we are stupid, and if we have any sort of knowledge, any sort of technology that's strong, it's going to be turned into a weapon.
Right. Well,
that's our nature.
I really believe, looking at people like Nikola Tesla, right? Even oh my goodness, the guy who Da Vinci, all right. I believe that they were in contact with beings, higher, more powerful beings. And then, if you really think that, or you believe that, then I guess the next question is why, right? Why would they give us this technology? I believe that something like Scalar or Rife technology is not of this planet. I really don't believe that human beings created this. I truly believe that this is coming from much higher places. That's why I wanted to, there's the connection in my mind of asking you that question. But I do believe that humanity is meant to be free. We're meant to be liberated. We're meant to live long and healthy lives. I believe that we lived much longer back in the day, and we have to get back to that place. And I also believe in so many ways that tools like this are fantastic, but we also have to take full responsibility over our own mindset and understand and believe that we can heal ourselves. And that
Right.
belief is going to take us exponentially further than just the technology itself. And that's really important. And believe that you deserve to be healthy and liberated and free within your body. So it's been such a pleasure having you on, John. Thank you so much for your charity work. You are such a heartwarming, authentic, just such a real guy, and I hope that that frequency shines through. Really, and as you know, it is few and far between. It's tough to find individuals who are so authentic and are really truly here for such a pure purpose. And that's how I see you and your technology. And I think as a founder of this machine and this device, it speaks volumes, right? Because whoever is leading the company is the vibration that emits through the company. And it's been such a pleasure to really get to know you. I already know your technology. I've known it for a while, but this has been really such a pleasure. And I hope that everyone else feels that way too about your energy.
Thank you very much. And thank you for allowing me to come onto your show. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good one, John. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you all so much for being here.
Bye-bye.